You know, last week we had a lot of fun. We talked about when I was at IPC Church and looked at all those young people dressed up as angels, and the boys were so unhappy. Then the preacher talked about how the Presbyterian Church was dying. And then I came home and watched the wonderful Wall Street demonstration. I even got a better story for you today. The New York Times had an article about the people in London trying to do the same thing people on Wall Street were doing. And they got out and started demonstrating in front of the London stock market. Interestingly enough, right across from the street of the stock market was St. Paul's Cathedral. So the people that were demonstrating blocked the streets. You couldn't even get into St. Paul's Cathedral. So what were they going to do? They had a big discussion in the church leadership because Jesus said the poor ain't going to get into heaven very easily, and they were demonstrating for social justice. Now, could the cathedral go out there and tell them to move or not? Well, the article didn't give us a solution. But I sat there and I was thinking about the Exodus story. That's the Hebrew myth of how the world was created. Well, the first thing you have in the Exodus story is Adam and Eve eating of the tree of knowledge, the fruit of knowledge, whatever it was, I don't remember. But and then once they knew the difference between right and wrong, they were thrown out of paradise. Well, that's an ancient story that's everywhere in the Mesopotamian countryside. But what is the first question in Genesis that a human being asks God? Well, there was this man named Abel, and he made a sacrifice. He was a hunter. So he brought in something he had killed, a live animal, and put it in sacrifice. Well, Cain was a farmer, and what he brought in was the crops he had grown. Well, for some reason, God didn't like the crops. So he accepted Abel's gift, but wouldn't accept Cain's. Well, Cain got so mad, he killed Abel. And then God comes down looking for Abel, and he says, "Where's Abel?" The first question a human being asks God is, "Am I my brother's keeper?" We've been asking that for centuries now, and we still haven't come up with an answer. I wonder if St. Paul's Cathedral asked that question, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Maybe they will let those demonstrating people do it. Well, the biggest thing that I have to deal with as an 80-year-old man, remembering the good old days of FDR and his fireside chats, is this idea that the Supreme Court ruled that corporations are humans too, and they have the same rights that we human beings do. Well, I'm going to differ with them because as far as I'm concerned, a human being has 2 feet, 2 legs, a heart, and a brain. And we ain't seen no heart in the corporations. So this is the thing we're struggling with. How far has our present day politics gotten away from a human community? In politics, we treat everybody as if they're objects, not if they're human people. They're going to cut my Social Security and my Medicare. I'm 80, can hardly afford to live anyway. But they want to do that. The people out don't even have jobs. And we're trying to extend the unemployment benefits, and Congress is arguing about that. When are we going to find an answer to the question, "Am I brother's keeper?" Thank you.